Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Sophia, and with me is my good friend, Ethan.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. Today's topic is something a lot of language learners struggle with, language anxiety, or, that nervous feeling when you're speaking or practicing another language. We're going to talk about when it's worth worrying and when to let go of those fears.
Yes, exactly. Language anxiety is super common, and it can hold us back from actually learning. So we're here to share some simple tips and steps to manage it. And we're keeping it simple and practical so anyone can follow along. Let's get started.
All right, so first things first, let's talk about when not to worry. Many of us feel like we have to be perfect when speaking a new language, but here's the truth. Making mistakes is actually part of the learning process. No one, and I mean no one, learns without mistakes.
Absolutely. Think about when you learned to walk as a child. Did you walk perfectly from the start? No, you fell a lot, but each time you got a little better. It's the same with learning a language. Mistakes are not something to worry about. They're a sign that you're trying and learning.
Exactly, Sophia. So, here's step 1. Accept mistakes as part of learning. Each mistake means you're closer to improving. When you start seeing mistakes as steps forward, not failures, they become much easier to handle.
That's such a good point, Ethan. Now let's talk about something related. Self-judgment. Sometimes we worry about what others think of our mistakes. But guess what? Most people aren't judging us as much as we think. They're either impressed or don't even notice small errors.
Right, step 2. Focus on communication, not perfection. Your goal is to connect with people, share ideas, and understand others, not to be flawless. The main thing is, can the person understand what you're saying? If yes, then you're succeeding.
Yes. And here's another tip to let go of worry. Set small goals. For example, instead of aiming to speak perfectly in a meeting or conversation, set a goal like, I'll try to use 3 new words today, or I'll ask 1 question in English. Smaller goals feel less stressful and help you build confidence.
Exactly, Sophia. Small goals make a big difference. Now, let's talk about when it's okay to worry, or rather, when it's okay to pay attention. If we're making the same mistake over and over, it might be time to look a bit closer and try to learn from it.
Yes, but the key here is to do it without being hard on ourselves. If you notice you're struggling with a certain word or grammar rule, you can focus on improving it without feeling stressed. This is more about learning than worrying.
That brings us to step 3. Turn worry into curiosity. If you're noticing repeated mistakes, ask yourself why. Is it pronunciation? Is it remembering the right word? Then, find ways to work on it, like practicing with a friend or using language apps. Curiosity makes learning more fun.
Totally agree, Ethan. Here's another side effect of worrying too much. It can actually make you feel stuck. When we worry about every little detail, it's hard to move forward. It's like trying to drive with the brakes on.
Great metaphor, Sophia. And that leads to step 4. Practice in low-stress situations. Find ways to practice where you don't feel judged. It could be talking to yourself in the mirror, practicing with a friend, or even recording your voice and playing it back. When there's less pressure, you're free to learn without overthinking.
Yes, I love that. And remember, not everything has to be formal practice. Watching TV shows or listening to music in the language is great too. It's a fun, low-stress way to get more comfortable. Sometimes the best learning happens when we're not even thinking about it.
Exactly. I also think it's important to talk about the advantages of letting go of worry. When you're relaxed, you remember things better, you're more confident, and you even enjoy the learning process more. And that feeling of enjoying it is powerful. It makes you want to keep going.
That's so true. And let's be real, language learning is a journey. There's no finish line where you're suddenly perfect. So if you can enjoy each step, even the tricky parts, you're more likely to stick with it.
So, a quick recap. Accept mistakes. Focus on communication over perfection. Set small goals. Turn worry into curiosity. And practice in low-stress situations. These steps help you learn in a way that's both effective and enjoyable.
Yes, and one final thing I'd add. Don't be afraid to celebrate your progress. Every little step matters. If you spoke in English today, if you learned one new word, that's worth celebrating. Language learning is about those small wins that build up over time.
Well said, Sophia. To all our listeners out there, remember that learning a language is a journey. You're not supposed to have all the answers right away. Just keep showing up, keep trying, and let go of the worry.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope these tips make language learning a bit easier and more enjoyable for you. Remember, it's okay to feel nervous, but don't let that stop you from trying. Small steps every day are what lead to real progress.
Absolutely. Keep practicing, be kind to yourself, and most importantly, have fun with it. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye and happy learning.